Ebusiafo, me pese hear something very interesting today. NDC for asemo aye can first you say 1.7 billion loss ya NPP for ebeso mo de hye samije mfi kon no enye no kware goldbod nim ho hwe, right? That is what NDC for year can. NPP for person mo tre say da bi eyentro goldbod na aboyenka. NDC for asemo a yes and so can say 1.7 billion ne kra no enye economic loss. Eye paper loss. Ni ka say paper loss a enye sika ye beka say usika 1.7 billion a shit te say the NPP for can because ebi mun say mo kan say 1.7 billion na nke betumi de si school na nke betumi de ayewe inti sika na hye. Mama mati ase eye ade bi a friend operational cost and a paper loss. And a perfect example and say o car o de 100 cedis akwa ko to full legu car nim o wie ye no wakwa ko twi car no e ma wenya sales 1000 cedis. Yen ka se 100 cedis no eye cabo eye operational cost asemo amenso maka e wa ha no NPP for say eye ntro. Now the me pese ye ne say ye ni na yenko eye chat GPT one of the popular AIs e wo wiasemu. Now we are going to do something very interesting here. Ye baby such chat GPT e wo voice no so aye den eyi ano e wo voice mu nti mo amutie me mu ni na mo bete ni ehu ne say chat GPT ne de onye NDC ni onye NPP ni ono read the IMF report no na say AI ni read the IMF report ni wi a yen bisa ne nsem ni ehu ne say MPP between MPP ni NDC no ho na etwa ntro nti eno no yen na ebe hu de ekọ meboa yen ni na aye ba be and our first time we have subscribe click the notification bell so yen is our latest news be about Sabekan. This video is kindly brought to you by Corporate Logistica. Minim in fact enkrofo bebre na e complaini say omo ato cars e de ama drivers omo nya so mfa so because drivers ni ndi no kware mesrew say o cargo vehicle ana ahia car kese na wo mpese obe experience sa de na fa car ne she Corporate Logistica nsa omo ankasa wo drivers a wo mo train omo security e wo ho driver ni bi eni ho a wo de car bia ba bedwane omo ankasa ebe ye maintenance wo car ne ho driver name ma mechanic say o mentumi make sales because me the car no me the sika no kokoye maintenance dabi Corporate Logistic and kasabe maintenance at the end of the month wa car ne ye no mema wa ketua 2 times 0598022033 one Corporate Logistic for entry komo na chese bibia enko fine. Now yen consem ni mu, so let us go to AI. I'm going to play AI on my phone and then we are going to ask AI some questions. Hello, my name is Senna. I want you to introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you, Senna. I'm ChatGPT. I don't have personal experiences, but I'm here to help you think things through, explain tricky topics, or sanity check claims with evidence. What would you like to dig into first?
So I want us to dig into the latest IMF report on Ghana's economy, but I want you to keep it very simple. I'm going to ask some few questions, and I just want you to be as simple as possible. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, totally. I'll keep it plain and to the point. Go ahead.
In the first place, can you assure me you've gone through the reports and you understand the reports?
Let me pull up the current report. Yes, I'll keep it to what the IMF text actually says and keep it simple. Go ahead.
Okay, so once you've gone through the reports, can you say that the $1.5 billion loss that is being attributed to Bank of Ghana is as a result of goldbod? Is it okay to tell us that it's 1.7 billion. Is it okay to tell us that the 1.7 billion loss was caused by goldbod?
Let me be very clear here. Based on the IMF report, no. It does not say that the $1.7 billion loss was caused by goldbod. It attributes the reported loss to the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, and it discusses goldbod separately. So saying the IMF report says goldbod caused that loss is not an accurate reflection of what the report says.
So if anyone says goldbod has caused 1.7 billion losses, the person is misleading Ghanaians, right? Are you there?
One moment. This is delicate. If the person is claiming the IMF report says goldbod caused that $1.7 billion loss, then that would be misleading because the report doesn't make that attribution. That said, I would still avoid making blanket accusations about motives. It's safest to just correct the claim.
So what you are telling us is it is a false claim, right?
One moment. If the claim is the IMF report says goldbod caused the $1.7 billion loss, then yes, based on the report, that is false.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Once it is false, we can move on. Now, let's move on to the next thing. From the IMF reports, right, goldbod received asset fees. And so technically, it means that goldbod rather made money for Ghana, right?
One moment. The report does describe goldbod as having revenue from its operations, things like fees and margins, but it also discusses costs and risks in the overall program. So the simplest, most evidence-based answer is yes, goldbod received revenue, but that alone doesn't prove it made an overall profit for Ghana. The IMF presents a more balanced picture.
But basically, what we are saying is that 1.7 billion loss is not or should not be attributed to goldbod.
One moment. Based on the IMF report, yes, that's the careful way to put it. The report does not attribute that $1.7 billion loss to goldbod.
Okay,
so
that's
saying
okay.
The IMF report.
So that's okay. So let's move to the next point. Now, let's get to the 1.7 billion loss itself. Now, the 1.7 billion loss, is it an accounting loss or it is a real economic loss?
Checking. In simple terms, it's best described as an accounting or balance sheet loss at the central bank, not $1.7 billion in cash disappearing from the economy.
So basically what you are telling me is that 1.7 billion loss is not a real cash that has vanished from the economy, right?
Let me check the wording. Yes, that's right. The IMF report does not describe it as cash that vanished from the economy. It describes a financial loss recorded on the Bank of Ghana's balance sheet, not missing cash.
Okay, not missing cash. Okay, so I want you to, in simple terms, differentiate between an accounting loss and a real economic loss.
Sure. An accounting loss is what shows up on a balance sheet, like when the value of an asset drops or when costs are booked, even if no cash leaves your pocket right then. A real economic loss is an actual reduction in the country's real resources or output, like factories closing, jobs disappearing, or goods and services not being produced. So one is about how things are recorded financially. The other is about real world productive capacity.
So what you are telling me is that in an accounting loss, you are not losing real money, but in an economic loss, you are losing real money, in simple terms.
One moment. Close, yeah, but tiny tweak. An accounting loss doesn't automatically mean real money has disappeared. It's a financial reporting outcome. A real economic loss is an actual loss to the economy's resources or output. So think of it as accounting loss equals what's on the books. Economic loss equals what's lost in real life.
So in order to understand this clearly, the 1.7 billion loss from IMF is not a real money that has been lost from our economy, but it is an accounting loss, right?
Yes, with one important caveat. The IMF report does not describe that 1.7 billion as cash that disappeared from the economy. It describes it as a reported accounting or balance sheet loss at the Bank of Ghana. So your summary is fair that it's not missing cash, but a reported financial loss on the central bank's books.
So I want you to confirm whether yes or no. So the 1.7 billion loss that IMF is reporting is not a real 1.7 billion money Ghana has lost? Confirm, yes or no?
Yes. To be precise, it's a reported accounting or balance sheet loss at the Bank of Ghana, not 1.7 billion in cash that disappeared from Ghana's economy.
Thank you very much. So I want to, let's do some analysis on the new IMF reports. So compare the IMF reports with, IMF's sentiments on Ghana's economy. Compare it with, let's say, 2023. And so according to the IMF reports, 2023 and 2024, comparing 2023, 2024 to 2025, right? In terms of Ghana's economy growing or Ghana's economy getting on the right track, what does the report say? So let's see whether the report is telling us that 2025, the economy is being run well than 2024 or 2023, or I'm just saying, let's compare between 2023, 2024, 2025, according to the IMF report. Where is Ghana's economy heading to? Just keep it simple.
One moment. Short version, the IMF says Ghana's economy is in a better place in 2025 than it was during the 2023 crisis period, and stronger than 2024. Inflation down, CD more stable, reserves higher, growth stronger, debt restructuring progress. But it also stresses that there are still challenges and that reforms need to continue. So overall, the direction is improved per the IMF, but not problem-free.
So per this IMF reports, 2025's economy, or Ghana's economy in 2025, is better than 2023 and 2024. It's a simple yes or no.
Checking. Yes. The IMF's assessment indicates that Ghana's economy in 2025 was in a better, more stable position than in 2023 and 2024.
Okay. So, I want to give another scenario. And then you confirm the scenario to me, right? And then see how closely it relates to the 1.7 billion loss IMF is talking about. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
So, I have a car. And I spent 100 cedis on the car to maintain it. And I'm able to use the car at the end of the day to make 1,000 cedis. Now, the 100 cedis that I spent on the car to make 1,000 cedis, the 1,000 cedis stands for the benefit of the car, and the 100 cedis stands for probably maybe maybe in quotes, the loss. Is it right to say that 100 cedis I put in the car was a loss without thinking about the benefit I got from the car?
One sec. As an analogy, you're close, but I tweak it slightly. The 100 cedis is a cost, but looking at that cost alone doesn't tell you the overall result. If that spend kept the car usable and generated more income, then you weigh both the cost and benefit. That's similar to how the IMF discusses the gold purchase program. It presents both the reported balance sheet
basically,
loss and the broader benefits.
Basically, what you are telling me is this scenario I just gave is very close to how IMF described the gold purchasing program and the whole 1.7 billion loss. I just want you to keep it yes or no. That is what you are telling me, right?
Yes, as an analogy, it's close.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's just an analogy.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the analogy. Thank you very much for helping me understand. I'll get back to you again when I need any clarification on a national issue, right?
Sounds good. I'm always here, Senna. Just call me anytime. Take care.
Sure.
Ghana ni bia wutie me no. Book we eye asset ba ko a e wo se wo keep e wo fie. To book we ma wo ho. To ma wo ba. To ma obi biara osombo e wo wabrabo mu. Wadamfo obi a opese odiye wabrabo mu bia no. To sa book we your friend the Ghanaian investor. Na sa book we be trail different forms of investment a obetumi aye e wo Ghana ha. Licensed investments. The first one e ya de bia your friend emergency fund. Book we bet show send you set up emergency fund. Abrabo aye boy bibia betumi ato. If you have an emergency fund, ebeba na ba be save you. car betumi asɛ wɔ kwan so obetumi ayare oba betumi ayare ni na emergency fund no ebe take control of all those situations. Book no besan so atrew ade bia ye fe na endowment fund a obetumi dia protect wo ho any future. Na sa endowment fund no nyame mpengu ukokonya accident na untumi nye adwuma bioma, it will take care of you for the rest of your life. Book no besan so atrew senya obe set up a personal pension fund. Enkrofo bebre eye adwuma wie equal retirement, or retirement, we are no more about betrayal. Or set up a personal pension fund. That will not be your case. Most importantly, book we betrayal how to invest in the Ghana Stock Exchange. Now, Ghana Stock Exchange investment, basically, it means you are buying ownership of Ghanaian companies. Now, Ghana Stock Exchange, it is one of the best performing markets in the whole world. A lot of people are making money from the Ghana Stock Exchange, but they don't know how to invest in it. Bookwe a better idea. Your investment be why a friend of mutual fund. Bookwe better how to invest in a mutual fund. Now, mutual fund, you don't need to be rich to invest in a mutual fund. I remember an example. You find say wow about fresh. Now what per license mutual fund Ghana has say opesodi usikashim. Say to me invest 500 cedis every single month. Ewo a Ghanaian mutual fund moi. By the time I will be 19 years now I done a millionaire. You find say oh for CB we did 10. Opese that chibi odiye. Every month for 500 cedis a mutual fund boom emano. By the time I will bano and our fast no obedi 29 years now oye millionaire. Wankasa utie me we di 40. Now so washa unye investment bia and no one say obey mutual fund every month for 500 cedis a shame. By the time obedi 59 years now when you 1 million Ghana cedis. Into mutual fund that is how it works. Small money every single month. By the time embre ebebano nesikano ayekese. Book we better sanya mani na. Sa ope book no ni PDF and ase ni twi video a. Free. And I say what's up number na ewo book ni so sisia. Now say we Ghana ni na wa brochure. Now pay hard copy of the book a very simple call Amazon. Now search for the Ghanaian investor. Place the order. Baby will be a best shape. Eddie Abreu. Medasi.